Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about my latest two army builds. This is something I've been working on since probably November of last year. So November, December, January, we're just coming into February. So this video is going to be about the two army builds I've been working on. Hang out with me for a little bit as I show you what I've got. Okay, so here is the first army that I built, and if you've seen my in the box videos, I don't think many of you have, but I picked up a lot of these from the Pia Club sale that went on at the end of the year last year. I actually had one more in the box video, or one more order that came, but I didn't do the video because I noticed that not too many people watched it, no one commented. It didn't seem like a lot of people watched them, so I decided not to do the third one, but I did get a second, or I should say a third order of these guys from Pia Club. I think I've got one more Mason and the two Vanguard, I think is what was in that last order. So I have a total of 10 guys here. These are all stacked up here behind, if you can see that. I ended up with 4 Yellow Jacket Captains, 2 Vespid Vanguards, and 4 Masons. All of these I got on sale from Pia Club. I think one of these is still left. I think the Vanguard is still left. I think one of these two is still left. It hasn't sold out yet. All 3 are very good figures. It's a team. It's an army. They have a whole story on the website on Pia Club. I think they're called the Beehive. I'm going to call them AMM. But I built this army on clearance. Great figures, though. I think Mason, in their story, Mason's actually their leader. But, in my own universe, I change the story around and I kind of create the story that I want. In my story, the Vanguards are the leaders. They're the captains. These are like the foot soldiers. This Mason comes with lots of extra accessories. He has like the exoskeleton armor where you can mount extra guns on, which is here. He does come with directions how to do that. I think in my squad, in this army that I built, I think I'm going to arm up 2 of these guys with the exoskeleton, the extra weapons like he has here in the picture. And I'm going to keep 2 just like this. And these guys I'm going to fit out. These guys are nearly the same. They have the same weapons complement, but different heads, a little bit different armor, but same weaponry. This is the army. So I built this army over like 3 months, November, December, January. I love to army build. I'm always looking to build armies in different lines. So this is the second, I think I did, this is the second Acid Rain World kind of army that I've built. Great army, great figures, a lot of options here, like with this guy to change out. It almost looks like this gun is a little bit too small for him now, but this is the gun that fits into the exoskeleton arms. This guy has a bayonet, which it does come out. That is a removable knife that he can put in his hand, but that's where he would carry it. And he has the same rifle there. Different heads, kind of strange, like helmets that open up with the head underneath. The helmet does come off. It's a little tight to get that head out of that helmet. At least I think it does. It almost came out a couple times. Yeah, it's a separate piece. But these are great figures. All of these figures are great. Great little army build. I thought about using these guys as, in my universe, again, this is my own made-up universe, as kind of like a Green Beret team, where you drop these guys in to train other forces, like local forces. They speak local languages. They would use native transport rather than having their own. And I thought about matching these guys up and using the Gujis. Whoops, you're not gonna be able to see that, are you? The Gujis, the critters. See, I'm gonna move the camera here, but these guys with them as sort of, maybe this is their their transport when they're, in the field. Since I have two of them, I think I might do that. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the Gujis. I thought about using them here with these guys. That was kind of the idea that I've had the most. It's been kind of sticking with me. When I picked them up, I thought that'd be really good to match with this army. All of these figures come with the yellow box, the yellow crate. As highlight, yellow is sort of their color. They all have great paint. I think this guy's probably the best one just because of his size and all of his weaponry. I feel like this gun's a little bit too big for him, and this one's a little bit too small, but it works out. It does work out. Drilled barrels, great head sculpt. Like I said, this guy has great size. He's quite big. He's probably 4.5 inches. These guys are 4.25. Great weathering. I love that they all come with dual pistols. This guy comes with a lot of stuff because he has the exo arms. Very awesome figures. Really glad I got them. I'm tempted to get a few more of these guys before they're sold out. They are about $30 right now on Pia Club, which I think is pretty good. Usually they're like 45, I think. At least 40, maybe even 50. So great sale. Great chance to pick some up if you're after them, if you want to try them. I think I actually like the Captain a little bit more than the Vanguard. I probably, if I would have done this reversed, I think I would have got, well, no. I think this is right. It was which one of these did I really want to be my commander? Because I had already decided I was going to make Mason sort of the heavy foot soldier, sort of the grunt, and I decided to go with the Vanguard as the officer rather than the captain. The actual captain is the captain. But great army build. Love these figures. If the weather was a little bit better, I'd go outside and probably shoot these. But it's pretty wet and muddy around here right now. It's been raining a lot, so I can't do that right now. But I would look forward to getting some pictures from me on my Instagram account with these guys in it. It's just, who am I going to match them up against? I haven't quite decided yet. That's what I love about army building, though. When you have an army and you have several different armies, you can mix and match who you want them to fight. I just picked up recently the Elite Ultra of the Covenant, like my Covenant army, my Halo army. I don't know what order these videos will come out, but I did pick up what I'm calling my leader of my Covenant army. So I kind of am imagining them just because of how recency bias, I guess. Those Halo figures are kind of on my mind. So I might match these guys up with them. I'm not quite sure, but I do really like these figures. I can recommend all of them. Unfortunately, 2 of them have sold out. I know Mason's one of them, and I can't remember which one of these. I think the Vanguard's the one that's still up, and he's about $30 right now. So if you're interested at all, even as a single one-off character, as maybe like some kind of a specialist, you want to try this guy, I think he's worth it. You get all the acid rain, articulation, paint, and like I said, this guy's he comes with 2 pistols, a grenade, the rifle, and the knife that fits into the rifle like a bayonet. So he's got a lot of weapons, drilled barrels. Technically you could take off the armor if you wanted, but awesome articulation. I think they all have the same feet, which has this great tread on the bottom of the boot. Just all around solid figures. I'm not sure why they went to clearance. I think they just had too many. Maybe this one didn't sell as much. Maybe they made too many. I'm not quite sure. But they're all 3 are really good figures. I think especially this guy, but I don't know. Maybe you could find him on Big Bad. I don't buy my Acid Rain on Big Bad anymore because of the markup. I know some people, one of my friends shared the discrepancy in shipping from Pia Club, but I've never really had a problem with it when I looked at what I was buying, how many items. I usually won't buy one item. I will pre-order one at a time, but when I make a large order, and you've seen my in the box, I usually got at least 4 or 5 figures, and if they were charging, $25 to ship, I always felt that that was about right, for the quantity of figures I was ordering. If I ordered one figure and they charged 25 for shipping, then I would have a problem with that. But I've never had it. So, but I know that some people have. But I tend not to use Big Bad anymore just because of the markup that they have. So I would take a look. Maybe you'll find one of these sold out ones on Big Bad. But I believe the Vanguard is for sale on Pia Club right now. So that's my first army. What do you guys think? Do you have any of these figures? Like I said, even as single one-offs, if you weren't army building, these are all great figures. All right, so let's take a look at my next army build. Okay, guys, so this is the second army, or I like to call this group a gang, just because of their irregularity. They're sort of irregular militia type forces, more of like a gang. The Cult of Sanreja Joy Toy Battle for the Stars figures. Now, if you've watched my hauls over the last couple months, you know I've been slowly building these guys up through AliExpress, looking for those deals. And I ended up with 4 Logans, 2 Allies, 1 Jack, and 1 Neil. So we've got 8 figures here. And this all started because I have an Ally here, and I broke her wrist. So I went to AliExpress because I hate having a broken figure. I did glue it back on, and I armed this one. I kind of stripped her after that. I took her weapons and her necklace, and I gave them to a different figure. And then I took these weapons from a Corvus Belli Infinity Joy Toy figure. I forgot the girl's name now. But she has a broken wrist, so I went to AliExpress looking to find one of these on a good deal. And of course, whenever you're searching for one of these Cult of Sanreja figures, they usually all pop up. And I started to see the deal for Logan here, and he was $14 I saw. And so I think I got all of these at 14, maybe one of them at 17. And of course, I grabbed the Ally I needed. And then I saw that she was on sale, so she was like 21 bucks. So I ended up getting 2, thinking I had that idea all of a sudden, was like, you know what, I'm going to build a gang of these guys. So over, the end of October, November, December, January, and here we are, February now, I one by one started picking these guys off from AliExpress, from whoever had them on sale. The Jack and the Neil, they never really went too far down in price, and because this was kind of on a army build on a whim, I wasn't going to spend more than like 20 or 22, 23 bucks on these guys. And I think that's what happened. I got a Jack, I think, for maybe 23 or 21, and the same thing with a Neil. But the Logan, obviously, like I said, he was 14 or 17, so I just started buying them. One of the things I wanted to do, though, is I'm gonna change them up even more irregular than they are, because they are singular characters with names rather than like the troopers that I just showed you before. Mason had a name, but the other 2 were just like Captain, and they're very generic. I decided I was gonna try to change these guys up. They do come with a lot of weapons, but most of them are melee weapons. I think, they do come with guns. I don't think this Logan actually comes with a gun, though. Spear, shield, knife. Oh, no, he does have a pistol. But their weapons are kind of strange. I think what I'm going to do probably is, unfortunately, hopefully I'll get another Jack, and maybe I'll get another Neil. But I think what I'm probably going to do is do some head swapping. Maybe put this head on one of the Logan bodies and, have it the other way around. I haven't quite figured out. So this army is not quite done. I thought the first army that I showed you, I think that army is done. This one is not. One of the ideas I had was to also give these guys those Gujis. I wasn't quite sure. Maybe these guys would look good with those Guji creatures, those acid rain creatures. But I also thought maybe they would look good with the acid rain, the soil ghost weapon pack, the sands, hidden sands weapons pack. Because they are kind of brightly covered, sort of very similar type weapons to the ones that these guys came with. So the idea was, let's see, how many are in here? There's 4 guns, or 5 if you count the pistol, and a couple knives. I thought what I would do would be to fit this gang, this army out with these acid rain weapons, just to kind of give them some variation. Do a few head swaps, just to kind of change it up. I don't mind having, 2 or 3 of these Logans, or 1 or 2, whatever the number is, looking the same, because could be like, maybe this is the foot soldier or the henchman gang member. It's all in your imagination anyways. What I'm having a little bit more trouble with is what I'm going to do with these alleys to make them a little bit different. I am kind of nervous about switching out the hands. This was the hand that I took off that broke, and when I had to glue them back on, because this hand won't really hold anything. This is more the gripping hand. She does come with a rifle, and that's what I think this is, to hold the bottom of the rifle. But I think I'm going to try to swap out her head with another female head. There are 2 other females in this line. It's Mara and Kate, I think. And those 2 never went on sale either. One of them is like the cowboy girl, comes with the cowboy hat, and the other one is the one in the white pants. Comes with the same Uzi, I think, that Allie here comes with. But they never really went down in price. I wish they would. I could do a head swap on them. But because this was sort of an army build on a budget kind of a thing, they were just so cheap. I didn't want to spend, I had already spent a little bit more for Jack and Neil than I wanted. Now, I should also say, I do have all of these already, and the Mara and the Kate, but I'm keeping them separate. I want to keep them separate. This is a separate army build, so I guess technically I have these 4 and the other 2, so those 6, one of every one already, but I'm keeping that separate from this army. It's not going to mix up with these. In fact, this one probably is the one that will go in this army, and I'll take out this one here, that is, mint, without the broken hand, and separate that one. So it'd still be the same number though, technically it'd still be the same number, whatever it was, this 8 figures. And hopefully I can get another Jack and another Neil. It'd be nice to do another like head swap, just to kind of give a little more variation. That head on this body, that head on this body, because I do have 4 of these guys. So that is the army build. It's going to be like acid rain weaponry. I might grab another one of these. These are only like 13 bucks. I think when you figure it out, it's about $2 a weapon, or a little bit less. But you got acid rain. These weapons are like pinks and blues. They're almost like the Annex 2179 colors. Crossbow. So probably going to do that. But this is my other army build. I know I've gone on about the sales at AliExpress. And this one, like, it took a long time to build it, not just because I piecemealed it a few at a time, but also because of AliExpress, the shipping. It's 14 to 20 days shipping. But this is the army. What do you guys think? This is the gang. I think this is more of a gang, and the AMM guys are more of an army. But this could be just like irregular forces. This could be, your urban warfare type guys. Because I do see these guys more of like urban warfare, where the other guys I felt were more like out in the jungle, or the forest, or out in the mountains. These guys I see in the alleys, in the abandoned buildings, but they could just as well be out in the desert, in an abandoned shack where they, I kind of, in my mind, I was like, maybe these guys are the enforcers, like, you know, selling the drugs or whatever they are, the muscle of the bad guys in the area. But that is the army, guys. What do you think of my idea of arming them up with these? There is the set B pack, but that pack was mostly shields and swords and spears, which is kind of what these guys came with. They all came with a shield or a sword or a spear, but they did individually come with, it looks like they each had a weapon, a gun. She came with two, I think, actually, a rifle and an Uzi. He had the Tommy gun, and he also had like a Tommy gun with a blade on it. He had the pistol with the knife on it. So I may still halfway arm them up with what they came with, but then arm them up with these. I don't really, in my sci-fi world, I don't really have or believe in too many figures having like swords and spears. That's more for my fantasy stuff. But I definitely like the idea of sort of like the dragoons or you know, like Renaissance warfare, where they still had the gun, but they did carry a sword for close quarters combat. So I think that's what these guys are going to become. These guys have been out for quite some time. That's why I think they've been on sale. I think this is a army that I am, unlike the first army, I think I'm going to still build this out, especially if they're still at $14. I'm going to continue to buy them one at a time when I find them, because they are all really good figures. They're very well painted, got Joy Toy articulation. Just like I kept talking about swapping heads, all the Joy Toy stuff is interoperable and modular, you know, connecting to, you know, you can use any other Joy Toy figure you want. So I not only will I, you know, pop and swap between each of these, but I also probably will bring in, if I find any other doubles, especially females, to kind of change up these alleys a little bit more, because I really like this body. But I think with this head sculpt, I do need to kind of change it up. You can see here the paint, how different it is. This one has yellow buns, or, you know, and this one has brown. So you can see even between them, they are a little different. This one has a little bit darker of a skin tone. I don't know, that's coming up on the camera. But they are a little bit different. But I do want to swap out some heads. I'm not as worried about these ones having the same heads, but definitely the girls. If I could just figure out another female to switch out one of these heads with, that will be perfect. But that's it, guys. These are the two armies that I've been kind of building the last few months here at the end of the year. Really happy with it. I love army building. I love army building, and I have a lot of Star Wars army builds, and I've done a couple videos. I did a Marvel Universe army build, and then I have, I guess, the other army build I did was the armies that I built the last, because I did like 4 armies, you know, early last year. Star Wars, Acid Rain. I can't even remember now. I'd have to go back and watch my own video. But I have a lot of different armies. I do love to army build. Let me know, have you guys been army building lately? What have you guys been picking up? You know, any line, anything that it might be, let me know. Leave a comment below. That's the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.